Hi, and welcome to day 12 of National Diabetes Awareness Month. Every single day this month, I am doing a vlog about a various topic in diabetes. Today's topic is about my experience with diets and just different ways of eating throughout my time with diabetes. Obviously, trigger warning for this video, I will be talking about diets. Spoiler, none of them worked, so at the end of the video you will realize that. But if this is a sensitive topic for you, or you feel that you may be triggered by anything talking about diets, about weight, about restrictive eating, please don't watch this. I won't be offended. I still love you. So I'm gonna start this timeline at college. In college, I had a group of friends, this is my freshman year, that really encouraged unhealthy behaviors when it came to food. I calorie counted, I tried Weight Watchers. I was really concerned with making sure that I did not gain the freshman 15. Diabetes at this point in my life was like the last priority on my list. I did enough with my diabetes to just stay alive. My A1C was probably in the 9s at this point. I don't remember exactly. I did not wear a CGM. I did not wear a pump. I checked my sugar maybe twice a day. I did, do insulin and gave myself shots when I needed to, but I was not thriving when it came to diabetes management. So I had this really unhealthy behavior around food and calories and counting, combined with this fact that I had a really unhealthy relationship with food. I was also excessively exercising. I was running half marathons all the time. I was always running. I was drinking heavily because I was a freshman in college. And while I did eat healthy, like I would have lots of vegetables, lots of fruits, lots of whole grains, lots of, lean proteins, I didn't enjoy food at all. Looking back, I just shake my head and I'm like, if only you knew, Megan, if only you knew. At this point in my life, I was not concerned with my diabetes management, and therefore my food had very little to do with diabetes management. From time to time, I'd eat something low carb just for the ease of it. And also, I feel like at this time in my life, I really lacked knowledge about food and diabetes and the connection between the two. Obviously, I knew that I had to count my carbs, but in terms of like what fat did to my blood sugar or anything like that, I really just did not know. I guesstimated every single carb count. I really just wasn't aware or attentive around any of it. As I grew through college, I kind of let go of that obsessive calorie counting. I did get to a point probably later in my college years where I was just kind of eating. I was healthy. I ate greens, I ate salads, I ate lots of fruits and vegetables, but I still didn't have that connection between food and diabetes management. It felt really separate to me. Now, once I graduated from college, I was living on my own. I was living in Boston. I had a really great group of friends and I worked retail, and I felt like I was always eating out, and eating out is obviously something that if you don't understand how to bolus when you're eating out, it can absolutely wreak havoc on your blood sugars, and it did for me too. Fast forward to 2018, I had a really rock bottom moment. Basically what happened was that I got a UTI, which turned into a kidney infection and landed me in the hospital. I had high blood sugars. I think I had at this point like an 8 or 9 A1C. Being in the hospital, getting closer with my now husband, I just kind of had this wake up call, like I need to be doing better. Coincidentally, at this time in my life, I was also moving to Ireland, which was an awesome, like clean slate for me to restart my diabetes management with. And the first place that I looked was food. How can I eat better to support better blood sugars? I did so much research. I was constantly like looking up how can I eat to make diabetes easier. One thing that I found, and this was also really popular during this time, was Whole30. If you don't know, Whole30 is basically an extremely strict paleo diet where you're not eating grains, you're not eating any sweeteners, like no maple syrup, no honey, no sugar. You're eating basically vegetables, meat, and a little bit of fruit. That's it for 30 days. And I've read so many testimonials from people with type 1 diabetes saying, this helped my blood sugars so much. And so I was like, okay, it'll work for me too. Yeah, Whole30 was pretty terrible. I did it though. I was like, this is gonna help my blood sugars. It didn't. In fact, really what it led to was a lot of GI issues. I was on the toilet a lot. And I also felt that it hurt my relationship with food. Because Whole30 didn't work for me, my blood sugars were still not doing what I wanted them to do. I moved on to macros. And if you don't know what macros are, it's macronutrients. I worked with a coach, and basically what you would do is, it was back to tracking. And you were trying to hit a certain calorie range every day, certain carbs, certain amount of fat, and certain amount of protein. And the protein was super high. I wanted to lose weight. I thought that it would help my blood sugars because I was counting everything. I was like, it'll keep me super regimented with carb counting. I worked with this coach for about a month, and then I just ghosted her because I was like, this sucks. It was terrible. I got into all of those diety foods like Halo Top and PB2, which is like powdered peanut butter, because I didn't want the calories from the fat. Guys, this was not good either. I was just like obsessed with food, and like everything I ate, like I had to plan it out. I'd be like, well, if I want to eat this Halo Top tonight, then I can't eat this. I can only have one egg with my breakfast. Anyway, it wasn't it either. So at this time, I'm feeling kind of like a failure. I'm like, how the hell am I meant to eat if I want to maintain blood sugars? Because nothing was working. I just didn't know where to go. So I went back to Whole30. I lasted like 20 days on Whole30 the second round. And I remember being at a restaurant with Sean, my husband. The menu, the only thing I could eat was something that wasn't Whole30. And I was just like, fuck it. Like, I can't keep doing this to myself. This sucks. This is not the way to get better blood sugars, is to restrict things in my diet. And I was right. I'm so glad I never looked back at Whole30, because that was a bad time. And I never went back to macro counting either. But those were two things that I tried that I thought were going to help my diabetes, and they totally didn't. So I moved back to the US, I moved back to Boston, and this is where I actually made the first forward step in my diabetes management. I went on the CGM. Going on the Freestyle Libre made the world of a difference, because for the first time in my life, I was able to actually see what food was doing to my blood sugars. Up until this point, all those Whole30s and macro counting that I had tried, you have the points in time from testing on a meter, but I didn't really have this full picture of what my blood sugars were doing all day. And therefore I could never have that integration of what food was actually doing to my diabetes management. So I went on that Freestyle Libre when I came back. This is 2018. That is what started my journey to truly thriving with diabetes. So this is where I'm going to stop for part 1. Part 2, I will upload tomorrow, and in that I'm going to be talking about my experience with going plant-based with diabetes, and then where I am today. Please be sure to like and subscribe to my channel, and come back tomorrow to see my part 2. Have a great rest of your day.